You go on someone's porch?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. I didn't.
You got ID?
No.
Put your hands up. Just put your get your hands out your pocket. If you stick your hands in your pockets again, I'm gonna take you to the ground. You understand that?
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
It's for officer safety. Right now, I just want to make sure you don't have any weapons. Okay?
Yes, sir. Okay. I have no weapon.
Don't do anything stupid.
I have no weapon.
And welcome back to the Civil Rights Lawyer channel. That is Jim Rogers. There would be a federal civil rights lawsuit filed in this case that settled for $8 million. Jim Rogers was tased by this police officer who was investigating allegations of a stolen bicycle. He would be tased more than 10 times by this police officer and would die the next day. This body cam footage was sealed during the litigation, and it was just released by the Rogers family attorneys. This happened in Pittsburgh. This is police officer Keith Edmonds that you see talking with Mr. Rogers at the beginning. And Mr. Rogers was apparently homeless at the time. And the officer was there because somebody had called 911 alleging that somebody had taken a bike from a neighbor's yard. Here's a portion of the actual audio of the dispatch to Officer Edmonds.
See the complainant, 5110 Harriet Street off of West Penn Place in South Eveline. Calls reporting there was a male on her neighbor's porch stealing a bike. Black male, thin-built, black T-shirt, gray sweatpants.
Copy, from East Liberty.
1024. 531 on your detail. They're saying that the actor is turning right on Eveline towards Liberty Avenue.
Copy, a description of the bike.
No description of the bike just yet.
All right, can you try to get one for me? 531, description on that male again, please.
Black male, thin, in his 50s, a black T-shirt with yellow writing, SLU on the back, gray sweatpants with a blue baseball cap.
Yeah. All right, I'm out with that male now.
I didn't do
Why'd you take the bike? Why were you
All right, I'm out with that male
I
now.
thought somebody was giving it away. How
would you think that? Be quiet. How would you think that if you're going on somebody's porch?
Well, I didn't take nothing away. I didn't take it from him.
Okay, but did you go on someone's porch?
No, I didn't take it away. I didn't take nothing.
I didn't ask you that. I said, did you go on someone's porch?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. I didn't.
You got ID?
No.
Put your hands up. Just put your get your hands out your pocket. If you stick your hands in your pockets again, I'm gonna take you to the ground. You understand that?
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
It's for officer safety. Right now, I just want to make sure you don't have any weapons. Okay?
Yes, sir. Okay. I have no
Don't
weapon.
do anything stupid.
I have no weapon.
Constitutionally speaking, the Fourth Amendment has now been implicated because this guy is being detained. This is an investigative detention. The guy does appear to match the description of a black shirt with the yellow writing. So that's probably enough for the officer to detain him and to investigate further, basically. But this officer appears to have skipped a couple of steps here. He is putting on his gloves, and it appears that he's about to search or frisk the guy. While he might have reasonable suspicion to investigate further and to hold the guy, ask him some questions, he doesn't yet have probable cause to arrest the guy. The guy has denied doing anything wrong. Therefore, he does not also have probable cause to search the guy without his consent because he doesn't have that evidence. He doesn't have that information yet. All he has is this basic reasonable suspicion, which is very easy to come by. And the officer appears to be about to frisk him. So he's putting on his gloves. And when can a police officer frisk somebody on a sidewalk like this? Well, what's that called? A Terry frisk. Police officers are often think that they get to frisk anyone in the interest of officer safety, and you can hear this officer saying that here. What the case law says, what the Supreme Court has said, is that police officers can only perform this so-called Terry frisk where they have probable cause to believe that the individual they're dealing with is both armed and dangerous. Here, this guy is denied any wrongdoing. We don't have any indication or information that this guy is dangerous, has been convicted of some prior felony. He hasn't made any threats as far as we know. We're talking about an alleged stolen bicycle. The guy doesn't appear to be armed. He's denied being armed. He appears to have been polite and cooperative thus far. Therefore, there's no basis for a Terry frisk here. This is just this police officer bullying this guy, treating him like he's an armed and dangerous criminal just because it appears that's his policy to do so. Let's continue.
531, I'm at Harriet and West Penn Place right now with this mail.
531, I'm at Harriet and West Penn Place right now with this mail.
Your code status?
I'll be code 4 for now.
Yeah.
I'll be code 4 for now.
No weapons, sir.
Any needles?
That's
No
copy.
needles, no drugs, no drugs, no
I
needles.
asked you if you had any needles. That's all I'm worried about.
Oh, no, sir, no needles. No, I just got, here.
You got ID? Let me get your wallet out, okay? Okay? Keep your hands up.
I don't have more.
What did I just say? You have a wallet, right? Right?
Huh?
Your wallet. This your wallet?
Where?
Alright, you're about to go in cuffs. Keep your hands up. That's the last time I'm gonna say it. Is this your wallet or not?
No, that's there.
Excuse me.
Okay. Oh, yes, that's not my.
What did I say? What did I say?
Okay, sir. Okay, I'm listening.
531, this mail's.
I'm listening to you. I'm listening.
Step it up.
531, this mail's. I'm listening to you. Step it up for the.
Put your hands on your back. Or you're gonna get tased.
I'm listening to you, sir.
Now.
3533.
I'm listening to you.
Put your
I'm listening to you, sir. I'm listening to you,
Put your
sir.
hands on your back. You're gonna get tased. Now.
Copy.
As I mentioned, what is to happen next would end up costing the city, the taxpayers, $8 million, presumably not including the cost of defense on that. As in most of these cases, we can go back to the beginning like we've just done here and ask a police officer, why am I here? How did I get here? What is my goal? Do I really need to escalate the situation? What crime has been committed? The allegation is of a stolen bicycle. I don't even see the bicycle there. The caller did not even provide a description of the bicycle. How does that get escalated to this guy now is being violently thrown to the ground? A taser is being placed on his back. Was this really necessary? What interests are being served here? The issue isn't always, can I do this? Am I justified as a police officer in doing this? Why not ask, should I do this? That is what we are sorely missing in policing in the United States of America, in my opinion. So now it's come to violence. And what happens next is awful. And I'm not even going to try to show you in the context of this video what happens, because you wouldn't be able to see this video. It would be immediately age restricted by YouTube and probably would be a good call under their rules here, because this is one of the worst taserings that I've ever seen. First, the officer Edmonds puts his taser directly against Mr. Rogers' back and delivers a drive stun shock. Then about 30 seconds later, Rogers then gets up in apparent distress and tries to run away. But he's tased again, and his body goes completely stiff and he falls sideways into the lawn of this house. Rogers starts to sort of writhe on the ground. Then at 10:33 a.m., Rogers gets up and he tries to run again in apparent distress. Once more, Officer Edmonds tases him, causing him to fall completely straight-legged into the street. Rogers is sort of mumbling incoherently. And around this time in the video, a neighbor shouts at the police officer, "Would you give him a minute to collect himself?" So neighbors are filming. That's how this first came to light. Edmonds tells the woman to back off, and then he tases Rogers again. He then orders Rogers onto his stomach, but Rogers instead tries to scoot across the street. Again, in apparent obvious distress if you watch the video, which I'll link below. Edmonds rolls Rogers over several times, then backup officers arrive. Finally, they handcuff him at about 10:36 a.m. According to the 15-page internal report from the Pittsburgh Police Department, Officer Edmonds delivered at least 10 electrical bursts within 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Then the video shows Rogers being placed in the back of the police car at around 10:37 a.m. He's clearly struggling to breathe. He repeatedly strikes his head against the cage behind him for about 17 minutes. Several times it sounds like he's screaming in pain. The officers, Pat DeSaro and Gregory Boss, then leave for the hospital at 10:56 a.m. Stopping for traffic lights and not appearing to speed or exhibit any urgency at all as they chat with each other, they then arrived at the hospital 17 minutes after that, where they paused to put on their masks and gloves before finding Mr. Rogers unresponsive in the back seat of the police car. They tried to rouse him. Jimmy, Jimmy, come on, bud, come on, wake up. I don't know if he's breathing, bro, grab the medics. He would ultimately die. Remember that I've talked before in recent videos about deliberate indifference. Even assuming that the seizure of Mr. Rogers was completely justified under the Fourth Amendment, and even assuming that this use of excessive, in my opinion, violence against Mr. Rogers all over a bicycle, even assuming that that was justified, i.e. constitutional, under the Fourth Amendment, we have these officers being placed with knowledge that they had used violent physical force against this guy, and this one officer knew that he had tased Mr. Rogers 10 times. With this knowledge comes the responsibility to provide medical care, medical treatment for Mr. Rogers. So there is no excuse for their failure to do so, and to not just immediately get him medical care, and instead to just take their time while he dies. That is the very definition of deliberate indifference. And I have no doubt that is how this large settlement came to be, because that was going to be very easy to prove. And you can see in the video that the lawyers did, it really is fantastic. I wish I could show more of it. And they go over the transport part, and they show like 4 different angles, 4 different views of what the cops are saying. And they show Mr. Rogers in the back of the car, and they show like a satellite view of where the car is running. And this would have been fantastic, just in a really bad way, to present to the jury. They would have gotten hammered at trial. So who knows? And that's why they ended up ponying up $8 million in this case. Just a plethora of civil rights violations here. I want to take it back to that very moment, because that's where I think we can affect change here. Because this is an American citizen walking down the sidewalk, and he's had troubles. I mean, he's homeless. He clearly has some mental issues. And instead of treating this man with kindness, treating him like a human being, he's treated like a piece of garbage. Not because he deserved it, but because that's how police officers have been trained to treat people. That if there's any resistance to their authority whatsoever, any questions asked, they stamp it out with overwhelming violence and a demonstration of their authority. And that even gets applied to allegations of stolen bicycles. I mean, just absolutely unnecessary. And there are other examples of this across the country. So I know videos like this can be depressing, but they're important to watch and discuss. So please subscribe both here and at the blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com. You can follow me on Twitter, especially if you like completely irrelevant history postings. John Bryan, ESQ. Also Facebook. I have like approaching 400,000 followers on Facebook. So follow me there if you're on Facebook. John Bryan, attorney at law. Remember, our freedoms don't end where your fear begins. Freedom is scary. Deal with it.